Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through Sunday. Going to do the study group for warriors, my hardcore heads. I think I have a couple new subscribers this week, so every Sunday this is how we get down. I basically go through my notes. I study every single day. It's part of the Mind, Body, and Soul program. A program that I live, that I coach, that I mentor. I'm all about it. Let's go through my notes. Some of you guys just want to sleep. I'm up before the birds, the crickets and the birds. They're not even up yet. Got my stray cat out in the backyard waiting for me to come feed it. The fucking thing is mean as hell. Won't let me get near it. But it shows up every day for some food. It's a little cutie too. Here's some ways to get your life together. You might need a pen. Courage. Courage will take you a long ways. Patience. Patience is a virtue. Diligence. Discipline. Nutrition. You want to get your life together. Get on top of your fucking nutrition. You'd be surprised. Food is a drug. You'd be surprised what it does for you. Exercise. You want to get your life together? Get in shape. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. I'm not perfect. I work out 6 days a week, and it helps me tremendously in many different aspects of my life, and it's hard for me to explain to you, for me to mentor you in this. You have to do it, and you get these aha moments, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. It's not just getting muscles. You want to get your life together, work on your virtue and your character. People who have their life together actively think about and work towards being a person of virtue and good character. That shit doesn't just happen on its own. You got to work towards it. If you don't work towards it, you end up a degenerate. You won't even realize it. You think, well, I'm a normal guy. You're a fucking loser. You're part of the problem. You have to work towards being good. You want to get your life together, become good at risk assessment. You want to get your life together, learn to take risks and chances. Learn to be a risk taker. Take the right risks though. That's why you need to learn about risk assessment. You want to get your life together, become good at recovery. You're always going to fall, you're always going to trip, you're always going to stumble. A little brat, a little bitch sits on the side of the road and cries about it. Learn to walk off, laugh it off. Instead of one of those kids who cries when he falls down, be one of those kids who laughs when he falls down. You want to get your life together, think about spirituality. You want to get your life together, work. Work. You want to get your life together, get a support system, get a tribe. Family, friends, a little clique. Let's go to the next one. Here's something that some of you will never understand. Some of you get it, some of you don't. I never get bored. I don't get bored. I never get bored. Never ever. And I don't get lonely. Never. I don't experience loneliness. I used to. Oh, and I used to have long bouts of boredom. I used to feel like my whole life was boring. Every single day was torturous in its boredom. And it's not that I went out and became some adventurer, some Indiana Jones motherfucker. I just started looking at things differently. My fulfillment, my sense of what I'm doing on this planet, my meaning and purpose, my direction is different. I'm highly focused on creating a good day and then living that day and then repeating it the next day. And this is why I live this very organized, disciplined mind, body, and soul lifestyle. I write lists and I schedule my day out relentlessly for this reason. Helps me move forward. And as I move forward, I don't experience boredom or loneliness. Maybe many of you suffer from that. I don't suffer from that. Let's go to the next one. If you don't get to know yourself, you suffer. And you end up thinking that nobody knows you or understands you. You have this syndrome, nobody gets me, nobody understands me. And if somebody were to tell you, look, nobody really cares, man. You think people misunderstand you, people aren't even focused on you. That's even furthering, I mean, I'm just making it worse. And this all stems from the fact that you don't know yourself. Maybe you need validation. You constantly need validation from the world. You need to bounce your ball against a wall because that wall is the world, and you need it to bounce something back at you in order for you to know who you are. Because you're constantly throwing stuff out there to compare yourself to others to see if you'll be accepted. Some of that's fine when you're 7 years old and your first year in school and you're learning how to socialize, but if you're an adult, you need to become a little bit more self-reliant, a little bit more confident in your navigation. A high-valued male, a boss, who's not constantly asking others of what kind of person, what kind of man I should be. If you don't get to know yourself, you suffer. Let's go to the next one. Here's a question. What sort of person would you need to be in order to confidently confront the obstacles in your path? You need me to read that again for you? I'll take a sip off my tea. What I got this morning, green tea. What sort of person would you need to be in order to confidently confront the obstacles in your path? It's just a thought game, right? Because we don't always confront the obstacles in our path with confidence. A lot of stuff we're really getting anxiety with. Your anxiety is fear. That's what anxiety is. Going through life afraid of shit all the time. Oh, I got lots of anxiety. I'm just really fucking scared. That's what you're saying. So, I'll read it one more time. We'll go on to the next one. What sort of person would you need to be in order to confidently confront the obstacles in your path? Think about what kind of person that is. Do a little profile. I'm a writer. I write novels. When you're going to create a character, you have to do a character profile. And you think about a backstory. You think about what they look like. What kind of person is this? You're creating a person. So, what sort of person would you need to be in order to confront your obstacles confidently? Do that character profile, and then be that person. Here's a question. Is your life collapsing, or is it just a trivial maintenance problem? Are you collapsing, or is it just a trivial maintenance problem? Sometimes we might want to replace a whole motorcycle because one thing is broken. You can just replace that one thing. You don't have to keep replacing your whole bike every time that one piece breaks. You gotta, what's the metaphor or analogy I heard? If you have a leak in your roof, you don't have to replace the foundation of your house. You just go fix the leak. It's just, the leak, it's just a simple maintenance problem. The house isn't collapsing. You just fix the problem. So ask yourself that, are you collapsing, or is it just a simple maintenance problem? Here's another question along the same line. More of a suggestion, not a question. Learn to ask yourself questions, and then listen for the answers. I've learned to be really good at this. I can coach and mentor myself at this point of the game. In the beginning, when I first got onto this path, I became really hyper aware of my emotional state and how I was feeling, because how I was feeling would guide me. This doesn't feel right, and I was really focused on my feelings for guidance. Now I can ask myself direct questions like a child asks a father, and I can get direct answers like God is answering, and it sometimes, very often, doesn't feel like me. I mean, it's in my voice in my head, but information is just stored somewhere and it comes out of nowhere to help me, to guide me, and it's not a feeling anymore, it's actual words. So I've learned to ask myself questions, and I've learned to listen to those answers, and I get those answers, and it's fucking amazing. I'm so thankful. And it's an aspect of manhood where I don't have to go running for help to others all the time. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help. I ask for help, but I don't need to always do that, because there's a lot that I've learned that I have knowledge stored in me somewhere. Maybe it is God, but I have this access that delivers. It delivers answers. Let's go to the next one. We're working on time. We got a little more time. Life can feel like a grind, and when you're trying to get your shit together, trying to become a stronger version of yourself, it can feel really hard, especially in the beginning. And even if you get a year or two into it, you might get frustrated and say, well, I haven't reached the destination yet. You might become hyper-focused, really focused, laser-focused on a destination, on a horizon, and wondering, why aren't I there? And your frustration may be, why aren't I there? Why aren't I there? I've learned to enjoy the journey, enjoy the process of getting there. And then when I reach these goals, oftentimes I don't even notice them. Other people notice this stuff before I do. It really only feels like a plateau, because I often tell myself, well, I'm going to keep going. And someone on the outside might say, hey, well, Sky, you've got there. Look, I mean, you've changed in all these different ways. Why keep going? Well, I don't feel like I'm there yet. I'm really in love with the process. The destination isn't so important to me. It's like when I ride a motorcycle. Sure, I often will have a destination. Let's go up to Harley. Let's go to the coffee shop. Let's go to a friend's house. Let's go, we're here or there, flea market, wherever. And many times I don't even make it. I don't even care. I get out there, and what it really is for me is about the ride. It's about the journey. So I'm not so focused right now, this morning. It's not even light yet. The birds aren't chirping. The crickets aren't even out yet. I'm getting ready to go to the gym. I'm not so focused on this future me that I hope to turn into of some super jacked motherfucker. I don't care about that. All I care about is the process of working out, is this slow grind towards a goal. It's the process that's fulfilling to me. I'm less worried at this point about the payoff, and it doesn't mean I'm not working towards it. It means I'm just not as desperate for it. What I'm desperate for is the daily grind. What kills me is to sit around and be lazy. I want to go through this same schedule every day of suffering towards this goal on a horizon. And if you were to magically just pick me up and transport me there and say, Sky, let me help you out. You're right there. That's a gift. I just put you right there. I don't need that help. All I want to do is grind every day. That, to me, is my little utopia. Your utopia may be some hedonist pleasure playground. Not me. My utopia is push-ups, eating right, struggling through shit. Let's move on. Here's a way to help yourself out a little bit of advice. I got some time. We got a little bit more time. Live simply, and the change and transition that life delivers you, and it's going to deliver it to you. I don't care how stable you are. There's always going to be change and transition. It may not always be comfortable. If you live simply, that won't feel like such a shock. A complex life is a fragile life. A complex life, the complexity of life is what crumbles. Let's move on to the next one. Here's some advice to myself, or just some ideas I've been thinking about. None of you may understand this. 20 years in one field is enough. I had to write this down and tell myself this. 20 years in one field, doing this one thing for a job. That's enough. It's okay to move on to something else. I don't have to die in my motorcycle shop. I don't have to be 78 or 88, still trying to figure out how to rebuild the business, how to get it going again, how to get the shop going like it was that one time or like it was last year. It's okay to do something for a while and then to go do something else. That's fine. You're not a failure. We have to end it on this one. What's the difference between giving up and changing course? It's a question. What's the difference? It kind of goes with that last one. Well, one rule of thumb basically is that you only change course to a path which is equally difficult or profitable. But sometimes you just have to listen to your heart, and you may go along a path for long enough and say, you know what, I'm going to go and take another path. And that's perfectly fine. But I'm not about giving up. I don't give up. I'm the last man standing in so many ways, in so many aspects of my life. And there's no shame in hitting a dead end or in realizing that this path leads to a cliff that's dangerous that you could fall off of. It leads to an abyss. It leads down to hell. There's nothing wrong with changing course, but don't give up on a good deal. I've given up on relationships far too often in my life, far too quickly, too easily. I've given up on a lot of things in my life that I kind of regret and wish that I would have hung in there longer. So this is a personal thing. You just have to sit down and think about it and decide, am I going to go further or am I going to turn back? Food for thought.